This may be the last cycle where you could make millions of dollars by trading altcoins. And in this video, I will exactly explain you on how I have got a working strategy that made me millions of dollars before and how I will be maximizing the upcoming Bitcoin bull run again. I have been in crypto for 8 years right now. I've already experienced 2 Bitcoin bull runs and this is about to be the 3rd one, and I have learned a lot of lessons. So I will break down in 8 steps on how you could maximize this upcoming altcoin cycle that is about to get started and how you could make millions of dollars worth in the process. And yes, if you do like these videos about altcoins, make sure to subscribe to this channel, Altcoin Rover guys. I'm trying to upload every single 2 days on this channel. I truly hope you do enjoy the videos and that you do learn something from it, because in the end of the day, that is the most important thing for me, that you do learn something from it. And I've been giving you guys a lot of free alpha in the previous videos. So if you could subscribe to the channel, I would highly appreciate that. So without any further ado, let me get started with the first of the 8 steps on how you could be maximizing this Bitcoin bull run. And that first step is going to be spotting the right narrative. Because I can straight away tell you, if you're going to be buying Bitcoin today, you're not going to become a millionaire. It depends on, of course, how much money you're investing. But if you're investing with like 10K or 20K or even less, you're not going to become a millionaire in the coming year if you're going to be investing in Bitcoin. I can guarantee you that. So if you want to be making life-changing wealth, and how I initially also made my first wealth in crypto was by trading altcoins. To know what altcoins you need to be buying, you first have to be spotting the narrative. And I pointed out 6 narratives which I think are going to be doing extremely well and which have proved to always do extremely well in the previous bull runs. There are 2 new narratives that I think are going to be very big in the upcoming Bitcoin bull run, and that is going to be AI and BRC20. And I mean later in this video, in one of the steps, I will also talk about diversifying your portfolio. And that is why it's important to understand multiple narratives and not only one of them. I mean, I've been talking about AI recently a lot and I'm super bullish about it. And another reason why I'm super bullish about AI, because currently on number 3 in terms of the largest companies by market cap, you've got Nvidia worth over $2 trillion US. And if you're looking at crypto AI, it is sitting around P23 in terms of market cap per sector. And in my opinion, it is so freaking undervalued. It's sitting around $25 billion US, and compared to Nvidia, it's like a 70x in terms of the entire sector. But of course, Nvidia is not the only company that is doing something with AI in that top 10, because we've got Microsoft, who's doing a lot of stuff with AI. And the more I scroll down, the more companies that are actually working on AI that have got a very big market cap. So, and I believe that AI is a narrative where everyone will keep talking about in the future. It will only become a bigger thing. And if you look at Nvidia, you can see that it literally more than, 10x in the past 2 years. So that is absolutely insane. And that will also probably bring a lot of attention from retail. And right now, with Bitcoin breaking above its all-time high, altcoin season about to start, I think that AI is going to be the sector with the most potential growth. So just like I pointed out earlier, you don't want to be investing all your capital into one narrative. No, you don't want to do that. You want to have a diverse portfolio. And I personally have more than 50 altcoins in my portfolio, which I think could do over 20x's in the upcoming year. And that way I've got a diverse portfolio in diverse sectors. And that way I will be maximizing my upcoming Bitcoin profits. And then step number 2 out of the 8, or lesson number 2, I could better say, that I've learned. And that is, don't use leverage while trading these altcoins, while trading these narratives, because I have done that as well. And sometimes it could actually backfire you, since, yeah, there is a lot of volatility on these altcoins. And potentially that could cause you to get squeezed out of a position. And that way, you're going to be losing out of the ultimate gains, which are like 10x's or even more. And yes, maybe you think, if it's going to do a 10x, why don't I leverage it with 3x? I think that is irresponsible. And what I have done, what I've personally been doing, I've been buying more than 50 altcoins, like I just said before. And I have been buying them and I send them all to my ledger. I have them all in one big overview. And that way, I know exactly how much money I actually have invested in any sector, how good they've been performing, because I've invested like in the beginning $20,000 in all of them, and some are significantly larger than other ones, and I will be talking about that a little bit later. But never use leverage, because it could backfire you, because some of them have actually been going down very significantly and only now are up so significantly as well, just like Pepe, for example. Just for example, I'm right now in my Ledger app, my Pepe wallet, because in the beginning my Pepe, once I deposited, was approximately like $15,000 $8,000 and it went all the way down towards an approximately $10,000 a month ago. It was sitting only around $11,000, but still it managed to grow to over $95,000. And if I've used leverage on this position, I would have been significantly liquidated already, and I missed out on the significant gains towards the upside. So please, with a lot of these altcoins, I would highly recommend to not use any leverage, because otherwise you are most likely going to get flushed out. And that also brings me to step number 3. And step number 3 is very important. And that is that it is sometimes easier to find the next 10x than the next 100x, because finding the next 100x is quite hard. And if you want to be doing so, you have to be buying maybe 100 altcoins and only one is going to be exploding. But finding the next 10x is, in my opinion, quite easy, because I have done that as well so far in this cycle with multiple coins. For example, Fetch AI, I've initially invested 20k and it is right now worth over and approximately $90,000. And there are a lot of examples for this. And I think that certain narratives, I know they're not going to do a 100x. I know that Fetch AI is not going to do a 100x because the market cap is already so big, but I do know it's a good product. It's a good working product. For example, I know another one that is most likely going to do a 10x, but it's not going to do a 100x, and it's most likely going to be Jupiter. Jupiter is basically the Uniswap from Solana, and I believe the Solana ecosystem, as fees are rising again on Ethereum, is going to be massively increasing. And the market cap right now of Jupiter is sitting around, what is it, $1 billion US. And if we're going to be looking at the historical data from the last bull market top where Uniswap was sitting, it was sitting around approximately $15 billion in market cap. If it were to come close towards that, maybe like 10 billion or 12 billion, it's going to do, like, relatively speaking from here, a 10 to 12x. And I bought it like around 50 cents. So that's like a 15x. So I'm not chasing the 100x, but chasing the safer options that I think are going to be performing very well. And usually in the beginning of the Bitcoin bull market cycle, altcoins that perform the best are the altcoins that are actually already well known and that actually already build up a community, and that could actually also thrive in the beginning because they have a working product which people actually use a lot and which people believe in. And due to that, those coins are most likely going to go very quickly. And that is most likely also the reason why those coins will also actually increase very significantly in value. And that also brings me to point number 4, why I've been doing this, and that is rotate your capital. Your capital needs to keep rotating. That is a very important and crucial step on maximizing your profits in the upcoming bull run. Because just like I talked about with Jupiter, I invested over $40,000 in Jupiter, around 50 cents, which is right now worth approximately 50k. I am not planning to hold this till the end of the bull run. I'm going to be taking profits once it's going to be hitting 5 to 8 billion US. I'm going to start cashing out in that region, and that would make it for me an approximately 10x. So I am very happy with the 10x, but what I will do afterwards is not leave the money do nothing. No, of course, I want the money to keep working for me, because I don't invest it in this, I can invest it in something else. And that is how I can actually achieve that 100x, right? So once I cashed out my Jupiter, for example, which I will be doing in the future, I can use that money again to be investing elsewhere. And I believe that right now we're not in the part of the cycle where microcaps are exploding, but I do believe that at the end phase of the bull market, and once I see that meta really getting created, because I'm literally paying attention towards the market 24/7, that's the only thing I'm doing nowadays. I'm only looking at the market. I know when the meta is starting, I'm going to start like selling some of my larger caps to go in towards microcaps. And that way, if I get another 10x, like I first make a 10x on my $10,000 investment, make 100k, and then that 100k makes me another 10x, boom, I make that million from 10k. That is how you actually realize that $1 million or that 100x. Don't chase the 100x, but take some profit after you make the 10x and invest it elsewhere. That way you have more capital to basically have a more diverse portfolio and have even more opportunities to make more profits in the future. And that is how I will be doing it. That is also exactly how I've been doing it in the past and how I will continue doing that. And I mean, honestly, yes, it is true with Fetch AI, with Pepe, I am not looking to sell these bags anytime soon, but it also really depends on how much value your portfolio is. I mean, I can tell you 100% of my portfolio is not purely Fetch AI. I mean, Fetch AI is just a tiny part of my portfolio. Like I said, I've invested in over 50 altcoins with more than 20k, and Fetch is just one of them that already did 5x. But Way more will come in the future, and I've been just preparing myself very well in that way. And now I'm going to go to step number 5, and that is actually finding the right altcoin. How do you know what altcoin you exactly need to be buying in? That is a very difficult question. And now I'm going to come back towards my first point, and that is, of course, the narratives. You want to have a diverse portfolio. So you want to be picking every single narrative. And the reason why I pick these narratives is very simple, because retail is attracted towards them. I believe that AI, just like I explained, is already significantly upcoming. Layer 1s and layer 2s always do well because Ethereum fees become extremely high in the bull market and people are looking for an alternative. So I think like coins like Matic will of course do very well in the upcoming bull run, and historically speaking they've always done well in bull runs. And also a new upcoming narrative, BRC20. Why BRC20 is because BRC20, it is the Bitcoin chain. Everyone will think, oh wow, there's a new product on Bitcoin, I need to get in towards this. And of course meme coins, because historically speaking, if we look at the previous bull runs, meme coins have always done extremely well. I mean, we did know that Shiba came out of nowhere and moved all the way up to $31 billion in market cap. We had Dogecoin in $35 billion in market cap. And that way I know that in this upcoming cycle, we're most likely going to be having meme coins that are going to be doing extremely well. So I'm going to talk about a few picks. If I were to be buying meme coins, I would stick with Pepe. That is at least what I've been doing. I've invested 100k in Pepe right now. I'm gonna hold at least till 2 million because I think still it could do like a 20x from off this point, because currently it's sitting around 3 billion in market cap, but I easily think it could go to 30 to approximately $50 billion in market cap. It sounds ridiculous, but that is what happened in the previous cycle. You need to be looking at the leaders of the narrative. So in this case, a leader of the narrative in the meme coin sector is going to be Pepe. In BRC20, it's potentially going to be Ordi that is a leader of the sector. But once again, you're not chasing the 100x, you're chasing the 10x, since it is right now sitting around a market cap of about 1.6 billion. It's not going to do a 100x, I can guarantee you that. But what we're doing here is trying to spot the next 10x and not the next 100x. We've got Ordi, it's a significant leader in the industry. In the AI, you maybe will go for Tau or for Fetch AI, or potentially for Render, which in my opinion is going to be one of the best performers, Render. I think it's still quite undervalued in my opinion. They've been working on a very beautiful product, and actually I do think that the upside is still like a 10x from here on, which is once again, we are not chasing the 100x's, but with those 10x's we're making, we could then start to make that 100x eventually, because it doesn't go up in a straight way. And that is how you spot these altcoins. You want to be looking at the narrative, and you want to be looking at the leaders in the narrative, and maybe you're going to take some more risk with some other smaller performers where you do really believe in. But just like I said, please don't try to chase the 100x's, but try to look for the 10x potentials. And let me then also straight away go in towards point number 7, rule number 7, and that is prefer new coins over altcoins. I mean, a very good example is Cardano, because I don't think that Cardano is actually going to be performing so good, which most people think it will be. And let me explain about why altcoins are most likely going to be worse, is because first of all, Cardano is already a large cap. It's the upside is really limited. And more importantly, the reason why I think the upside is limited is because there are so many holders in Cardano, and all those holders are going to be providing sell pressure along the way up. And I know so many retail that has invested into Cardano, and that is why I do believe it is not going to be a good performer. And new coins with a clean sheet, which don't have all those previous holders from the previous bull run with insane high prices and is still down like 80% from its high, is not going to have that kind of sell pressure that Cardano is going to be having, for example. So you have to understand that usually new coins, they tend to be performing better. And just like we saw in the previous cycle, new coins always were the ones that were performing better. It's going to be happening again in this cycle, and we can already see it happening with Render, with Arbitrum, and many of these other new coins that are coming around the corner. So please, do yourself a favor, do some research if you're just coming back towards the space. New coins usually tend to perform better than old coins because they don't got these big bag holders that could be dumping on them while the price action is actually going up here. So I'm not saying that you should dump all your old coins, because I still hold some old coins as well. But I do believe that new coins are actually going to be performing better. And of course, once I'm talking about altcoins, I'm not talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum, because those are two well-settled coins that I believe will be just sticking around in the market. So that was my 7th point already. And now we come towards the most crucial point of them all, and that is when to take profit. Because yes, I mean, Are you going to be the one that is going to be riding the gains all the way up and then boom, go down with the ship and don't take any profits? No, you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that guy. And maybe I'm going to sell a little bit earlier than everyone else and I'm going to be missing the exact top, but that doesn't really matter for me because I just want to be locking in my profits because I've got currently all my wealth invested in crypto because I'm so overly excited about the industry and I so much believe in it. And I bought it also in the bear market. I hodled on and I've got a multi-million-dollar portfolio right now. And this is my exit strategy. If I'm going to be starting to look at taking profits, I'm going to compare altcoins towards the previous cycle where they were sitting in terms of market cap, and how much higher Bitcoin is going to go is going to be a little bit of a calculation on how much higher these altcoins could potentially go as well, right? So Bitcoin was sitting around a market cap of about $1.2 trillion. At the all-time high, it was around $1.3 trillion, something like that. But Bitcoin currently already exceeded that. But if we're going to be looking at some altcoins, for example, we had BNB. The largest coin after Ethereum was BNB, and it was sitting around $100 billion in market cap. And that is a little bit the indication about where you could be sitting in that range. Let's say we're sitting in that stage of the market where Bitcoin potentially is going to start topping out. When are we going to be starting to go out of altcoins? If we're looking at the market cycle, in that first exponential rally, we saw altcoins, of course, top out once Bitcoin did, and then Bitcoin had another rally towards the upside, and altcoins topped out just that little bit later, while Bitcoin was already topped out, right? So it's going to be important to understand about where altcoins are going to be topping out and where Bitcoin is going to be topping out. And with that, of course, I'm going to use my technical analysis that I'm doing on my main channel to know when that is happening. But of course, for altcoins, what I basically will be doing is looking at certain points in the market in terms of market cap, where it could potentially start to stop out here. So for Uniswap, it was worth around $15 billion US. So that looks to be a little bit of the fair value for a DEX. That's maybe also going to be, that is also helping me to target, okay, where could Jupiter sit? Because in the last cycle, Solana was sitting around the $75 billion market cap. It was like 5 times lower than Ethereum. Could Jupiter top out around 8 to 7 billion then in this case, depending on where Bitcoin is going to be going. And of course, as the industry is growing, there's also going to be more money coming towards the altcoin industry. And of course, due to the Ethereum ETF, there's also going to be more liquidity for the altcoin sector. So in that way, I'm going to try to measure when I want to be taking profit in terms of market cap. If I think, okay, right now things are getting a little bit overheated, things are looking like, oh, this is a value where it was sitting around in the last bull run, then I would start to consider taking profits on these altcoins. And yes, I will definitely start to consider that. But most importantly, it is important to look at the Bitcoin market structure in terms of the chart. And of course, if you want to learn on how to chart, you should go towards my main channel where I explain about what I think about Bitcoin. And just like we were in the last cycle, I was very bearish on Bitcoin around at $60,000 because we were creating that weekly bearish divergence. And I think that if Bitcoin is going to be topping out, it's going to be creating similar signals like it has in every single bull market. And that is going to be a very important point, what I will be taking with me if I want to be starting to cash out of my altcoins. But also, just like I said, always once I do like a 10x on certain altcoins, I am taking out my initial to invest in different coins. Or if we're at the top stage of the bull market where Bitcoin is sitting above $100,000, I'm also going to be considering to take that money out and start investing outside of the cryptocurrency industry, because for me, and of course for you, it maybe will be a different strategy, but for me in this upcoming bull run, I want to go a little bit more out of crypto. And you may be thinking, Rover, why do you want to go out of crypto? Because you're a crypto rover. Why would you go out of crypto? And if I'm going to be reaching my target of my wealth, which I'm going to be reaching, in my opinion, I want to have a little bit more safety for the future. And I still think that real estate is going to be also a way on how to create safety for your own future. So make sure to have your exit strategy as well ready. And of course, as time continues, I'm going to do a way more in-depth video about when I think the market is stopping out, or when I think that we should be taking our profits on the market. I will definitely make those videos as well in the future, and we'll try to stay as sober as possible in these videos to let you know exactly what I'm doing, to exactly explain you what my next step here is in the market. So I truly hope you did learn something from this video. If you did so, slap on the like button, subscribe to the channel. Guys, it was an absolute pleasure. These are my 8 steps on how I achieved a lot of profits in the last Bitcoin bull run. And these are also literally the steps I'm taking once again in this upcoming Bitcoin bull run. And only I adjusted my exit strategy a little bit here. But of course, you will learn more about my exit strategy in the future as time continues and as the market is going to be developing at the stage where I think, oh, right now we should consider getting out of the market. And I mean, honestly, I don't think that we're there yet here. I believe still there's a lot of potential for growth in the altcoin sector, and I will be trying to maximally benefit from it, and we'll try to cover it all on this channel. So if you learned something from this, subscribe to the channel, guys, and see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.